There are two really problematic issues that we don't talk enough. How sensitive are the stubborn components of inflation to interest rates? They're not very sensitive. That's problem number one. Problem number two, what indications are we getting of the economy? It's slowly weakening. So it raises the issue that once again, the Fed is going to have to pivot, this time not on the basis of the inflation numbers, but on the basis of the real economy numbers. It will pivot yet again. And then there's the big issue that I know no one wants to discuss.
Go on.
And I insist, and I understand that fully, is the inflation target the right target? We all talk about wanting to go back to 2%. Every single quote you had this morning assumes that 2% is the right inflation target. 2% is totally arbitrary. But I understand why no one wants to talk about this. But we should all realize that if we are pursuing the wrong inflation target, the risk of a mistake, and that mistake would mean sacrificing growth unnecessarily, the risk of that mistake is high, especially when the low-income people are most at risk.
I know how much criticism you get every time you bring this up, because you've been bringing it up with me for the best part of 12 months, maybe longer now. If we go back to the Jackson Hole speech from Chairman Powell in August of 22, when he talked about pain being required to get inflation under control, then the experience of the last 12 months where we all got seduced by this idea that maybe we don't need pain whatsoever to get inflation back under control. Are you saying that the pain that's required to go from 3 to 2 just is not worth the squeeze?
Correct. I'm saying that if you were to establish an inflation target today based on the secular issues, and let's talk about it, the domestic paradigm is changing. We're no longer in this Washington consensus of deregulation, liberalization, and fiscal prudence. We are in a world of industrial policy, government intervention, and fiscal irresponsibility. Let's talk about the international. We're no longer talking about ever closer globalization. We're talking about fragmentation. Then look at the transitions we have. We have major transitions going on, not just generative AI, life sciences, and sustainable energy. You have things happening in healthcare. You have things happening in defense. You have things happening in food security. If you put all that together, it is a different inflation environment. It's a world that's subject to higher inflation, and we've come from a world that was subject to lower inflation.